What a wild weekend in the NFL. Frank Frangie, Hayes Carline, Lauren Brooks, R.J. Saunders. Crazy weekend, huh, in the NFL?
Absolutely. Not a lot of drama until last night, but yeah.
Last night was a good game.
Last night was a great game.
I mean, from start to finish, last night was a watchable game.
Yeah, and the fun continues, like you said. I'm looking at the picture that Tony Baselli just tweeted out of the stadium, and it looks like there's about 4 feet of snow in every seat in Buffalo. So
he's soft, though.
Yikes.
He's so soft.
Well, true. The Bills Mafia is not going to be soft. They'll be there. They'll be warm, I'm sure, thanks to all the alcohol that they consumed while tailgating.
So yesterday I played golf, and I'm not really paying attention because I'm thinking the first game is not going to be very good. And so, well, it turns out it wasn't. But honest to God, so I play golf. I get home, and I'm kind of casually getting home, and I'm washing off the golf cart, and I'm going in slow, and I'm taking the shoes off, and I don't have, and I'm not following anything on Twitter. don't have my phone out. You know, I'm not phone guy when I'm playing golf. So get in the house, and say hello to the wife, and dog's running around, and I don't know what TV station she has. I turn the TV on. It's 27-0. And I'm thinking, yeah, you ever have that moment where you look at it, you almost think you're in like the Twilight Zone or something?
Yeah, like is this a replay from a game? Like
exactly right. Maybe they're playing an old Packers Cowboys game from the Ice Bowl or something way back when. I looked at it and I thought, and I had to shake my head. Suzanne goes, "What's the matter?" I said, "Look at this score." She said, "Yeah, I know the Packers are killing them." I'm like, "What in the world?" I think I was probably more surprised when I turned that television, got home from golf, turned the TV to the station, saw that the Cowboys. I don't know that I can remember the last time I was that surprised when I looked at the score. Ever that surprised.
It was shocking. I mean, this is Green Bay's drive summary to start the game: touchdown, punt, touchdown, 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 touchdown. I'm going to go out on a limb and say when you do that in a playoff game, your odds to win said game are pretty high. Yeah. And, I mean, Jordan Love was incredible.
He's good.
And I would imagine what happened with Dallas is just there's such pressure on Mike McCarthy, and my guess is that just resonated down, and they just played like a team that had no business being there. And, you know, and whether that was – defensively, it was really puzzling because they've been pretty sensational defensively for most of the year, and Jordan Love just dissected them. And so I don't know what. I don't even know if like Dallas can point a finger as to exactly how this happened because they had such a solid regular season. But man, that was an egg to take the cake of all the eggs that have been laid this year in the NFL. 7.5-point favorite. You're at home. Green Bay is basically starting a bunch of kids on offense, and those kids just went up and down the field.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, Dan Quinn, who I think many thought was going to get a head coaching job immediately after the Cowboys' success this postseason, he doesn't look like he's as bright as far as candidates go, and Mike McCarthy might lose his job, and we might have a new Dallas head coach. And Frank, I know you're not all about firing coaches, and he's had 3 winning seasons, but at the same time, Jerry Jones, I think, expects more than what he's gotten.
Here's my take on that. I hate firing coaches. Fire. Let's fire the coach. Fire the coach. We're firing too many damn coaches. This guy's had 3 straight 12-win seasons, which means if you take my position, no way you fire him. You can't fire a guy that's had 3 straight 12-win seasons. And I still conceptually believe that. I conceptually believe we can't start firing our coaches who have won 36 regular season games in 3 years. We can't do it. But that's one situation where so much has been made of it, and so much has been made of the fact that they can't get out of their own way in the postseason, that they may not be ever able to get over the psychology of it without a new coach. Does that make sense? Because
it does, but I mean the issues go back farther than Mike McCarthy.
No question. So I would not fire him because I think we fire coaches way too fast. You know how I am about that. But the psychology of it is so strong. That was wow. I mean. And Dak Prescott, who wasn't very good, he was 36-9, 36 touchdowns, 9 picks this year. I mean, he led the league in touchdown passes. Now, look, the defense, to your point, Lauren, was what happened yesterday, not the offense. But anyway,
it was a both.
Yeah,
it
was
both.
The
pick six certainly did not help the situation.
But it was. I'm just telling you, it was just. I was as shocked as I've been.
I also think it's two different. I understand what you're saying in terms of at the college level and giving it time and there I think it's more important. In professional football, you're measured on winning, competing for the Super Bowl. And if you're miserable in the postseason, then yeah, I think that negates what you do in the regular season. I mean, he's 1-3 in the postseason as Dallas's coach. I mean, it's not good.
Yeah.
And they looked so woeful yesterday that, again, I think in professional football there is a much higher standard in terms of what you're trying to accomplish. I mean, very few owners in this league are just out to win 10 games and compete for the division, and that's okay. And the rest of it, I mean, I don't think Jerry Jones is unique in this. I think if Mike McCarthy was coaching for a lot of organizations and the postseason failures had been this acute, I think there would be questions about, is it time to move on? Because ultimately you're trying to win a Super Bowl, and you need a coach that you feel like you're the most confident in to do that. And if you're the Cowboys, I just don't know how you have confidence that Mike McCarthy is ever going to lift that Lombardi trophy wearing your logo.
Well, that's the last thing you said is the question. I'll scream this into the mic, college, pro, any other. You don't fire a coach because of what he did or didn't do. You fire a coach because you're not sure he can do it next time. You fire a coach because he's not the guy. So I'll go back. I don't completely agree with you that it's different here or different there and that regular season wins don't matter. I don't agree with that. You didn't say that. But, I mean, I don't agree that regular season record doesn't matter. But I do agree that the psychology that can inhibit the mind of a team is gigantic. And if the psychology is so infested, see, I don't necessarily think when you fire a guy it gets better. I think sometimes people fire him. We'll fire him. It may not get better. Next guy might not be better. The next guy might not get you closer. We always just think the next guy is going to do better, and he might not. But if it's so in your head, if your team's mental health is such that you need something to change, that's why you do it. So I think he might get fired. By the way, I'm not convinced he's getting fired.
I'll be shocked if he's not fired.
Yeah, I won't be shocked. But I think he might get fired, and I think and I'm not.
It was ugly. I think that's the other thing too. It was at home. Yeah. They'd been really good at home, and it was. I mean, Kevin Burkhardt, God bless him, at the end of the game is trying to make it like, oh, they're still in it. No, they're not. They've been out of this game since the first quarter,
and they've been incredibly good at home.
Right.
I mean, no professional sports team wins as much at home as they have. That's like they have like a college home record.
And it's not like the Packers have Aaron Rodgers and he's been injured for 4 or 5 weeks and. That's why they were the 7, but they've sort of found themselves. And this is literally a bunch of kids. I mean, Green Bay's offense, it's the best bargain in professional sports. None of them make any money. And what they just, I mean, it was just a clinic. And so that's the thing that I also think factors in is this was a 7 seed that really should not have been able to execute at this type of level. They don't have any playoff experience. Now, obviously, their coach has it, but in terms of what they have offensively, that should have never happened yesterday. And again, it speaks to what went wrong here. Whether it's Dan Quinn, the pressure McCarthy feels, and that feeds down. But it's hard to explain.
So we'll talk more about that coming up today on the program. We'll talk a little bit about all these other job openings. The Jaguars' pursuit of a defensive coordinator. I got a thought or two about that. We'll talk about that coming up today on the program as well. Great time to talk NFL football. It is. I hate it that we're not there. Were you guys bummed out over the weekend watching it?
Yeah, it's terrible. I'm actually, I think, more angry today about the Jaguars than I was a week ago. Because a week ago, I was still shocked that it had happened. And I was still sort of absorbing the fact that the season was over. But now I'm far enough away from that it's like, wow, yeah, they really had no run here at all. And what we thought would be 2 or 3 great years has been swallowed up by their own ineptitude and the fact that Houston got it right on a number of levels.